All videos on this channel are intended for adult Star Wars enthusiasts. Hello and welcome to A Fan Reads Bantha Tracks, the journal of the official Star Wars fan club. I will be reading issue number 24, spring 1984. This article is about Robert Watt. Let's begin. All producers on Lucasfilm projects are line producers whose chief responsibility is to supervise all aspects of the making of the film, as opposed to independent producers who also find the subject matter and raise the money for the project. The producer makes the major decisions involving money and talent, taking part in the hiring of the cast, director, writer, key crew members, etc. He oversees all aspects of the film's production, sets up the schedule, and carefully plans, guides, and monitors every production detail. For Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I'm sorry. This is the journal of the official Star Wars fan club. Star Wars fan club. Why are we talking about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? In the Journal of the official Star Wars fan club. I have a feeling this is going to be very short. A fan reads Bantha Tracks. Yes, it is called A Fan Reads Bantha Tracks. Maybe I should retitle it A Star Wars Fan Reads Bantha Tracks. I want to read about Star Wars. All about Star Wars. The Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi. That's what I want to read about. Not about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Moving on. I'm not reading about it. Sorry. If you wanted to know about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, maybe you're just going to have to go to an Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom fan channel or something. You ain't getting it here. Ooh, look. I do love how big this got. See, all about Indiana. Look at that. No. And then this. No. Let's see if something's in here about Star Wars, or Return of the Jedi, or The Empire Strikes Back. Let's see. Something happened in Australia. Let's read about that. On October 26, 1983, within the Hoyt Cinema Complex, the largest in Sydney, Australia, anyone would have thought it was either New Year's Eve or maybe Halloween. But it was the Australian premiere of Return of the Jedi. Brilliant searchlights bathed the entrance in true Hollywood style. The costumes, glamour, hundreds of cameras, and excitement of the crowds was truly fantastic. Interstate fans had begun arriving early in the day to join those already waiting for the explosive and concluding episode of the Luke Skywalker trilogy. By 8 p.m., several thousand fans filled the theater complex, spilling into the partially closed street. Ticket holders, competition winners, and chanting fans, many in costume, displayed their enthusiasm and love for their heroes. The cinema foyer resembled the Mos Eisley Cantina as the costume fans congregated. Emperors with piercing yellow eyes, Vaders full gown and pint-sized with lighted chest plates, Princess Leia's with braids and blasters and outfits from Alderaan, Hoth and Endor, and Luke Skywalker's, both young and old, clad in black with lightsabers ready. Some even traveled from Tatooine, followed by Jawas, Sand People, Stormtroopers, and many old, attentive droids. Not all fans arrived in costumes. Many came as fans with badges, patches, jackets, Star Wars t-shirts, Rebel Force caps, and faces glowing with anticipation. Hoyt's staff looked magnificent in black t-shirts with silver Return of the Jedi logos emblazoned on their chests. A bank of television monitors continually screened the Jedi trailer. Television crews, journalists, and news media personalities from films and television were there for this eventful night. Spotlights showed where crews were filming and interviewing fans for the evening's nationwide news. Finally, the announcement came for patrons to make their way to the upper foyer and their seats. Within minutes, the lower foyer was desolate as the Junland waste, but within each cinema explosive emotions resounded. For the long wait over 3 years was at an end. The lights dimmed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The 20th Century Fox logo came on the screen and the audience raised the roof with a thunderous roar. One by one, the 5 cinemas revealed the secrets of Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, a journey into fantasy. We cheered and applauded, we booed, jeered, hissed, and screamed with delight. We gasped in horror and sighed with relief. Simultaneous oohs and ahs filled the cinema in the most touching scenes, and laughter to rang out. The cinema tilted and swayed through Endor and erupted with the Death Star. We cried with Luke, cried for Vader, and we fell in love. We took a journey of intense excitement punctuated by periods of extreme delight. The Ewok celebration moved us into a standing ovation which continued throughout the credits. The Force was everywhere. From Australia, we loved it, George Lucas. That was awesome.
Hey guys, we're going back to the battle on planet Endor. But I just got reports, Ewoks were both. All troops report to base. Glider attack, kick the dirt. Our furry friends are great allies, Leia.
Accessories and action figures all sold separately.
Man the catapult wicket, fire! The bunkers hit bad. Let's blow the force shield. We did it. The Empire's finished this time.
Speeder bike, Ewok combat glider, assault catapult, and action figures sold separately. Only from Kenner Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
What else? Hopefully there's more about Star Wars. Here we have something called Michael Carter in Conversation. One of Return of the Jedi's most memorable aliens is Jabba's formidable major domo, Bib Fortuna. The convincing portrayal by British actor Michael Carter breathes life solely as a brilliant special effects collaboration. Return of the Jedi was Michael's first space fantasy role. In October 1982, he met with director Richard Marquand for an informal talk. Recalls Michael, everything was shrouded in secrecy at this stage, and only at the end of the interview did I realize that I had signed on for the 3rd Star Wars film. Filming began for Michael at the end of January 1982 and continued until the beginning of March. Prior to filming, he had spent weeks at costume fittings while the design of the Bib Fortuna character progressed. To create the tendrils that projected from Fortuna's head, a special plastic cap was constructed onto which the tentacles were attached. The cap was the first thing to be fitted, Michael reports. The appendages were made of foam rubber and draped around my neck where they were pinned. After securing the cap in position, Nick Dudman worked systematically down my face. The forehead lobes were glued on, followed by the nose area. Then he worked around my jaw, and he ended up by doing the neck just above my chest. Once the facial landscaping was complete, the jagged teeth were placed in position. These were actually dentures made especially to fit the contours of Michael's mouth. The teeth were difficult to work with because they kept falling out, especially when I raised my voice. One day, I hit Mark square between the eyes with my bottom set. The final part of Bib Fortuna costume to be assembled was the delicate fingernails. I couldn't do anything with my hands once they were on. They consisted of false fingers with green acrylic nails that fit over my hands. To help himself develop a precise style for Bib Fortuna, Michael found it useful to try to actually think like the character. I don't think Bib Fortuna was particularly evil. I felt he was someone who knew that he could never be number one, but was very attracted to the idea of power. He obeyed Jabba the Hutt and felt a kindred spirit with the Great Slug. As filming progressed, some problems with the wearing of the elaborate costume and makeup began to develop. The headpiece was very heavy, recalled Michael, and by the end of the day, my neck muscles were really sore. Also, I was terrified that if I fell, the skull cap's weight would snap my neck. Constant monitoring by the crew ensured that no such incidents occurred, but the danger was present. Michael took his young son to see Return of the Jedi when it opened in London. I was very interested to see the finished film and to look at it objectively, forgetting that it was me up there on the screen. I guess I must have been pretty successful. My son's reaction to Bib Fortuna was to spend the most of the time clinging to my neck. Very interesting to learn more about the actor of Bib Fortuna. That was interesting Star Wars stuff. Anything else? let's see. A message from the director. Hello everyone. The Star Wars Saga triple bill results were unanimous. Everyone would gladly sit through 6 hours of the Star Wars Saga. Some of you even indicated that sitting through 6 weeks of Star Wars films wouldn't be enough. Sometime in the future, Lucasfilm and 20th Century Fox will release the triple bill in the USA. Now, in this issue, there's quite a bit of art from the members. So, here's the art. Let's see what's in the back. Special collector's items. So that's it. That's it for Bantha Tracks. Hopefully in the next issue, there'll be more about Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. But until then, may the Force be with you.